What's good, my spankin' swankins? Welcome back to the Spade City Minecraft series. Right now we're standing in the Queen's Mansion and I'm just getting my thoughts together before a full overhaul. I am definitely very excited for this project. I almost started doing it in the last episode. Once it was on my mind, I had to really hold back from just autopiloting to it. But we're here now and I'm jumping right in. No better place to start than this stairwell or kind of entry room.
That's called a foyer. I just know that from Shameless because they were talking about Liam being able to understand the word foyer or whatever. That's like the only reason I know the word foyer.
So I'm told it's called a foyer. I'm not redoing it. So regardless of what it's called, this room is kind of the pride and joy of the entire house, so if it doesn't look good, how can I expect the rest to look good? And I do think just the little details we've been adding have gone a really long way in making this foyer feel okay. I don't know if I'll have the patience to do the whole house like this, but I think this room should have like the most detail, since it always kind of has been my favorite part of the house altogether. But I also think this just comes to show how much those little details really make a big difference. I did not do a whole lot in here, but it's already looking a lot more regal and put together than it was before, I think. But with that out of the way, I'm going to start lining out some hallways in this main living room. This is probably the biggest part that I was excited to attack, because when I finished this huge mansion, I had this giant room that I had no idea what to do with, and I had no interior design intuition or practice yet. And I'm still a little iffy, but that's why we're doing this. I'm just going to lay out a walkway that I'll feel comfortable taking through a series of rooms, and I might even do an upstairs floor. I'm not sure yet. Don't you hate when that happens? Anywho, I'm just going to build up this wall a little bit to see how it's going to feel as I'm walking through this hallway here. And I'm not going to lie, I'm really liking how this little living room is going to feel. I might need to shorten this table a little bit, but other than that, you know, it feels really clean. 'Cause I always liked this living room, it just felt way too big. And yeah, I think if we give it an upstairs with maybe some servant quarters right next to the kitchen area, you know, kind of give some authenticity to the idea that an actual staff might be living and working here. But this isn't all going to be decorative. I am hoping to do a lot of utility rooms, like one for banners, one for maps. I'm gonna definitely overhaul the smithing room. Can't forget about the kitchen, because I really like just having a house that looks awesome and functions as just an absolute unit of a base. And I definitely feel like we're on the right path with that. I am building a little crazy and all over the place, but you know, I'm trying to knock out some of the tedious stuff while also still laying out new plans, keeping my brain nice and stimulated, but also seeing everything through, which is really important for me with a build this big. It helps to kind of see the whole big picture coming into shape before your eyes. I'm only really seeing one issue with adding an upstairs here, and that's that this upstairs is not going to connect to the other upstairs, which is fine. I can definitely get over that. I can just see it already though, me cursing myself for putting one thing in this room and then having to walk downstairs to walk back upstairs to get to that room. And God help anyone else trying to learn the layout of this place. Sorry, Lizzie. But I wanted a labyrinth, and I got a labyrinth. Bookshelves are definitely a must in all of my builds. I really love the way they spice up anything. Anywhere you put them, it's gonna look good because there's a bookshelf there. They really chose an amazing palette for those. Right now, I think I'm just walking around the entire house, working on anything and everything that jumps out at me, just hoping for a little extra inspiration. I decided to make this one room, which, fun fact, used to be the storage room, into 4 rooms, potentially servant rooms, maybe guest rooms, or other utility rooms. I haven't decided yet, but I really like the layout that I've decided on there. The pool has definitely seen better days. I don't know if I'm going to change it much yet, but for now we can at least restore it to its former glory. I was being all extra when the Nether update came out, and I covered it up with blackstone and took all the lanterns out. I think I even had like some crying obsidian in there for a little bit, and this was my portal room since I didn't feel like I had another empty room in the house, which is crazy. This house has so much room. I didn't need to ruin my pool. But while I've got those sea lanterns in my hand, I figure why not run around and light up some areas in my house that could use a bit of attention. I didn't have a lot of these when I first built the house, so I used them quite sparingly, but I've got a few left over from building the dock, so I'm not too worried about it. And I'm not doing too much in here, just pushing the wall back a little bit to add some depth. Looks like I can't change that corner though. It's gonna stay stone brick. And I keep coming back to this main room, sorry, the foyer, because it just doesn't look complicated enough for me. So I'm trying to divide up this wall and add a little bit more detail. Whoever at Mojang keeps suggesting realizing that crafting recipes require stripped logs, we will never be friends. Yeah, I know. You're heartbroken, but that's what you get for wasting my time. Jokes aside though, I do really like the shelves. They're excellent for adding trim. And while we're talking about trim, let's go to the room right behind the one we were just working on. Because I said the room I was most excited about was that big living room, and this is the room within that big living room that I was most excited about because it has a fireplace. I mean, come on, how do I stop my imagination from running wild with that one is the question. I just know I want it to feel really fancy and for my eventual spare god sets to be on display here because yeah, I need more than one. The real struggle overall with any build like this is that it's so big and I have no idea what to fill it all with. I'm just placing stuff because the space is empty. Like, how is it that right when I need to be designing a room like this in this game, I'm completely dumbfounded to what humans keep in their house? But I just ended up looking up random house clutter on Pinterest and that kind of helped me come up with some ideas. I copied a few one-to-one, but I was mostly coming up with different combinations of my own designs by the end of this. I don't really know why I put a cactus farm in my kitchen, but I just kind of felt like it needed one. I don't know. And yeah, you can usually make these just by putting water and then having one hopper, but I'm lazy and we have an iron farm, so I don't really care. And yeah, I love survival, but it's moments like these where I feel like I'm over and over just doing the most tedious of things to do the most simplest of tasks. It gets a little frustrating, but never disheartening enough to actually play on creative. It's boring. Like, how am I supposed to have any sense of pride over anything I build in creative? Nah, every block you're looking at before you was chopped from a tree or dug straight out of the earth, in a manner of speaking. If you want a tip on how to build furniture, just make any jumble of wood items that looks kind of alright, and then cover it with trapdoors, and it'll look coherent. If you're going to be interior designing at all, craft like 2 stacks of trapdoors before you even start. Save yourself the trouble. Okay, but the 2 stacks thing does only apply if you're building in a house this big. Bookshelves. Oh yeah, I'm definitely liking it. I want to have one up here that looks a little more 3D too. So I'm going to put the design in the wall and kind of have shelves in front of it. Yeah, this looks really nice. I'm going to have to find more places to put this, although it is a little difficult to find places where the back wall doesn't matter. Ugh, I'm having a hard time stopping myself from just running around and exploring this place. I already know where everything is, but it's just like so twisty and turny, and the hallways just make it feel so nice. Kind of castle-y. It is a castle, it's just not the type of castle I pictured building in this world. Ah, fresh air. I think I just spent the last 4 hours inside. Meanwhile, I've been inside in real life for like a day. But it's all good. Look at how good that outline looks. The roof of this place used to be made completely out of wood, and I kind of miss it. I was kind of digging the full stone, kind of dark design when the Nether update came out. But now that we're long past that and going into a new era of this world, I want to make this place look a little more wood-based. Or I guess not even like a wood base, just a wood trim, but a really nice one. Okay, I guess I lost some foxes at some point. I'm just gonna actually leave those there for a little bit because all my other foxes are dead.
God damn.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
So anyway, yeah, they can chill out there until I can think of a better place to put them. Ooh, yeah, that it's only a cool trick if you don't kill yourself in the process. I want there to be a lot of curves in this trim, so I'm using lots of stairs and slabs. Oh, you can see Lizzie marking where she's at. Ah, yeah, that's nice. I like that. And nothing says you know how to add detail like putting buttons on the front of everything. They're just so little. How did you have the time? And yeah, I'll probably end up bringing the trim all the way around the building. Doing my best to add as much detail as possible. I don't know if I'll wrap it around all at once though. I can already feel myself getting bored of this. Like, yeah, it's just so hard to get to that one little spot I need to click to get the stair in the right position. But we're doing it and it's gonna look great when it's done. I like all the arches. I think just a little bit of brown to contrast the gray does wonders for it already. And as if we didn't learn our lesson the first time, let's fly right back up here. Man, I almost die every time I do that, but I'm just gonna throw a few lanterns up here, make it look all nice and lit up, and check it out at night. Love it. Next, I want to clear out some of these bushes because I'm going to want to make some pathways all the way around. I want to kind of free it up. It looks a little too straight on to me. It always has. It's bugged me since the day I said I was quote unquote finished building this thing. But yeah, I think we could have a full-on courtyard going on here. I'm even thinking of adding more circles because you know I like building with circles. But to do that, I think I'm going to have to terraform a little bit and cover it up with some columns or whatever. Kind of my favorite way to set up the layout for cities before I'm building any actual buildings on them, while still kind of paving it all and making it feel city-like. Isn't building pillars just so fun? And isn't placing dirt even more fun? I pretend to be cynical, but I'm having a grand old time. How could I not? I mean, look at this view. It's the greatest view I've ever seen in my entire life. Anywho, back to the courtyard. I'm gonna use my trusty circle website. I've mentioned it quite a bit by this point, but that's because it's awesome. I'm just counting out how far I want to go. I'm gonna double that number and add 1 to it and put it into the circle generator, and it'll give me the exact pattern I need to replicate to have a perfect circle. And then I'm just gonna cut that circle into sections as I need to. And it's looking a little rough right now because of the palette, but I do think that this is a really nice shape. I'm really excited to build this up and make it a little more 3D, make this whole courtyard a little more walkable, add a bunch of clutter and stuff to it, like some places to sit and maybe a few kegs for some honey, since the lore of the Queen's Mansion is that they make their money from the mead. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, I had a good, what was it, like 4, 5, 6 hours of footage. It was a lot, and this happened. So that was very disappointing. Well, 6 hours, this one frame. I'm not gonna fix it, but it's alright. I can still go through and do before and after shots like this.